right there.
Hey Tactical Rifleman Nation, before we get into the video, I want to just take a minute to thank some of the companies that support our channel. Without them, we couldn't bring you guys these great videos every week. This week, I want to thank USCCA. Join USCCA to gain education, training, preparation for what happens before, during, and after that act of self-defense. So become the prepared protector that you need to be with a USCCA membership. USCCA, we appreciate you. All right, hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. We're going to talk about shooting in the snow or just inclement weather. Right now, it is 7 glorious degrees outside here in Western Kentucky. We've got about 4 inches right now, and we're supposed to get about 10 more inches. Supposed to be best snowstorm in 20 years. Great stuff. So obviously, it's too cold to go out and train, right? But the reality is, no, you need to train as you fight. Right? It's also a great day to go out to public ranges because nobody else is going to be there. You're going to have the whole range to yourself. All right? But you guys know I'm a big believer in train as you fight. Now, that basically comes down to 2 types of training. One is that tactical training, that tactical scenario. All right? My law enforcement guys, my military guys, my concerned and capable citizens out there. Okay, you're running and gutting, body armor, rifles, all that stuff. You need to be able to do that different in the cold. I agree with that. But then there's also our EDC carry, all right, every day. Now, again, we're going to start off with that, but I want you to think about train as you fight. So everybody's worried about, well, how do I shoot with big, heavy gloves on? Number one, you're not going to shoot in big, heavy gloves. Think about when you would actually pull that EDC pistol, right? When are you going to do it? Maybe you're in the store or the restaurant. Maybe you're walking out to the car, from the car. That's possible. Maybe you're inside your vehicle, right? Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're wherever you are. But chances are you don't have gloves on, right? So don't train with gloves on. Now, I know it's too cold to be out here without gloves. Actually, it's not, guys. Train as you fight. You're not going to wear gloves. You're just not. Well, Carl, how do you keep your hands warm? How you keep your hands warm is with a cheap hand warmer. I got this one at Walmart. It's dirt cheap, and all it is it's a sleeve like a quarterback wears to keep his hands warm. Inside of it, you keep chemical hand warmers, and that's how you do it. You keep your hands in there till you're ready to shoot the next drill, all right? And then when you're ready to shoot the next drill, you pull your hands out and you shoot. You're still able to do all your drills. My hands are not cold right now. My hands are fine. When it's done, you reholster and you put your hands back inside. You relax, you warm your hands back up. It's even got a little pocket on the front so you can carry an extra set of chemical hand warmers. They last for 10 hours, guys. It works great. Now, comes time to jam magazines. It's hard to jam magazines wearing gloves anyways, right? So you can't do it wearing gloves. So take a handful of ammo. You take your empty magazine. You put it inside where your hand warmers are. And guys, you jam your magazines in there. Right now, I'm putting those rounds right back into that magazine. If you can't jam a magazine without looking at it, guys, chances are you don't know your firearm well enough. Bring hands back out. Hands empty, all my bullets are back inside the magazine. It's not that hard. So you see what I'm getting at. Now, the next thing, train as you fight. You need to think about the clothing that you're actually going to wear. And this will actually change how you live, how you dress, how you act. Now, nice winter coat hangs low in the back. The problem with jackets like this, all right, is when I go to skin that appendix carry holster, or I go to skin that 3 o'clock holster, it catches on my big fat ass because it's designed so I can sit on a bench and the Gore-Tex protects me. See what I'm getting at is, so you need to think about what kind of clothing you wear, and that's what you need to practice. And now, I'm not asking you to bring a stack of clothes out to the range and practice shooting in each type of clothing. What I am asking you to do, though, is dry fire in them. While you're at home, dry fire. I do it five times before I seat that EDC gun in the EDC holster every morning. 5 dry fires are what I'm going to wear for the day, and then I'm good to go. Put it back, load it, put it back in the holster. I'm all set. The other thing I want you to think about is, because everybody dresses in layers, right? So you're outside, you have that heavy jacket on, right? You need to practice with that pistol only buried 1 layer deep, okay? You'll notice my sweatshirt is actually tucked in behind it, right? Now, if I was going somewhere I'm gonna take this jacket off, let's say, before I take the jacket off, right, what I'll do is I'll pull my sweatshirt out and I'll sit it over the top, and then I can take this jacket off. All right, guys, it's freaking 4 degrees. It's not the end of the world out here. It's really not. All right, get my sleeve back out here. Again, I'm on the range. I'm able to practice. Right? It's not that cold. I still have eye pro, ear pro, everything else stays the same, but now you're practicing that EDC draw. Now, train as you fight. What you're gonna find is with all the bulky clothing, you're gonna want full-size pistols as opposed to smaller pistols. So in inclement weather like this, instead of carrying a Glock 19 or Glock 23, I've got a Glock 45. The handle is just a little bit longer. What it allows me to do is grab purchase of the handle. Now, everybody worries about gloves, shooting safety-wise, because you're gonna get that finger into that trigger well, and that gun's gonna go off. By the time you put your finger in there, that gun's gonna go off. Yeah, if you've got bulky gloves, that's truth. But if you're worried about from a safety standpoint, am I putting my finger on the trigger right here anyways? No, I'm not, right? So I'm still establishing my grip there, right? I'm still drawing, and I'm meeting my hands, and I don't put that finger on the trigger until, what? Until I've already lined up my sights, I'm on the target. It's one more reason why we push so hard. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Right? So it is still safe way to do it. Carefully, reluctantly put the firearm away. But again, I don't practice EDC. I don't practice wearing gloves, guys. I don't, because literally, if I get in a gunfight, the reality is I'm not going to have gloves on. So like I used to practice. My unit always wore Nomex and leather gloves, right? When I was an assaulter, we always wore tactical gloves. Now that I'm retired, I can't do that now. I literally have to practice without gloves. So it sucks. When I come out here to the range, I have got to practice. I've got to, right? Practice my shooting. Gun away. Again, ready position. Right, whether it's interview stance, I don't care if you start with your hands in your pockets. I don't care. But basically, all your drills that you do on nice, pretty days, you've still got to do the same drills, guys. The exact same drills. Right. So, ready position, clear, get on target. Follow through, do that tac mag reload, reluctantly reholster, and store that other magazine back on my Neomag holder. All right, set yourself back up. Now, again, you notice I mentioned Neomag holder, because a lot of things that people do is, well, they practice their speed reloads here. Reloads are different when you're cold, guys. Reloads are different. Matter of fact, my hand's getting cold. I'm gonna put them back on the hand warmers. That's why they're here. Hand warmers, I'm warming my hands back up for the next drill. Now, for reloads, I want you to be honest about where you keep that extra magazine, right? Because you need to practice those speed reloads, right? So if I was to empty that mag out, I'll pull it out. I'm gonna sit my rounds out here. We'll leave, we've got just a couple there. One in the gun. All right, now, on the clock, you need to be able to practice those speed reloads. Now, what you'll find is a lot of guys will sit that magazine down in the bottom of their pocket. Other guys, like these pants are sexy, right? They've actually got a little pocket there for that spare magazine. The problem, though, right, is if you look at time, right, for me to do that draw, fire one, reload, get that next round, right? Time on my reload, but now I'm gonna do it with that magazine that's deep in that pocket as opposed to the Neomag. Draw, round on target, bottom of the pocket. See what I'm getting at? It's slower, so you need to practice these drills. You need to practice these drills, guys. All right, so it is switched to hail now. That's awesome. It's actually bouncing off of the Jeep and everything. I love it. All right, well, let's talk about the tactical side of shooting when it's cold. Because remember, World War I, World War II, pretty well the history of mankind. We still hold wars when it's cold out, right? That's why snowflakes don't join the military. All right, now, so these blasters, our battle rifles, they can be used with heavy gloves. They can. Matter of fact, you'll see a lot of firearm manufacturers, they'll actually make the trigger guard a little bit larger so that you can get that heavy gloved hand in there. You can still run that firearm. I can still mix metal and meat together with it. All right, now, the Colts, the M16s, the M4s, they actually had a little push pin that you can lower that whole trigger guard out of the way. Total bullshit, nobody ever did it. And the idea behind it was, even if you were wearing big Arctic mittens, you could still do that. But the big thing though, guys, is make sure that no matter what kind of gloves you're wearing, make sure that you can get your finger onto the trigger safely, but make sure you can also still manipulate that the selector lever, right? So other than that, all your manipulations with the gun stay the same, but they are not as easy. Now, I mentioned that you can do this with heavy gloves, but the reality is, just because it's cold out, you're not just training for this, you're training for whatever that tactical mission is for your unit. Now, I mentioned earlier that my old unit, we always wore Nomex gloves. We did. What we wore were, we would have, these are Hatch gloves. They're Nomex, which is basically a stretching fireproof material, Nomex flight suits, things like that. And then they have leather palms and fingers on them. And what we would do is, and these are actual gloves I've gone overseas with, I would cut off the fingers for manipulating for key, minute, fine motor use. Right? The trigger finger actually comes with a ring of leather so that it was designed to be cut off. And you cut your fingers off as you get holes in your gloves. Fast forward, a lot of the guys would run assault gloves. These are my old Oakley ones with the hard knuckles on the back. Again, I cut all the fingers off of them because even in the hot desert, summertime, we still always ran gloves. So all of our training, all of it was done wearing gloves. Now, that's where all your muscle memory is. Once you go inside that building, you're going back to those fine skills. Running zip ties, combatives, manipulation of door charges, all that stuff. That has to be done with these gloves, these thin gloves. So, well, Carl, what about if there's snow outside? It's the same thing, okay? But what you do is, as the vehicle pulls up there, you're getting ready to get out of the vehicle, or as the helicopter's coming in getting ready to land on the X, you pull your hands out of your heavy gloves and you just stick them in the sides of your body armor, guys. They're going to be there for the ride back. They're going to be there if you get into any trouble, all right? Just stick them in your body armor, stick them in your pockets, wherever. But what it does is you've still got your thin gloves on. You're still able to use muscle memory. Now, they actually make hand warmers, right? This one's actually made by Core Performance, right? It's got the pocket on the front for putting your chemical hand warmers in it. But it works the same way while you're out at the flat range, guys. If you're out there training, you're wanting to warm up, same thing, you take that magazine, put it in this end, you put that handful of bullets in the other end, and you can still jam mags with your warm hands, all right? Other than that, all your drills remain the same, all right? You need to be able to get that finger onto the trigger. You need to be able to manipulate. If that slide locks to the rear, you need to be able to do that speed reload and get back in the fight, all right? Understand, in cold weather, your firearm may respond differently depending on the temperature, what lubricants you use on it, whether you're using grease or oil, whether it's REM oil versus CLP. Different oils we found work different in different climates. So understand how your firearm responds with the lubricants that you use on it. How do you find that out? Do you just watch some video on the internet and take somebody else's word for it? No. So you need to make sure that your firearm works. All those same manipulations that you use during the day, you need to be able to do them. You need to be able to do them in any kind of weather, no matter what it is. All right, your tac mag reloads, everything. You need to be able to do all of that stuff. Shoot, move, communicate. It's not just for sunny days. You need to be able to shoot kneeling, standing prone. You need to be able to do barricade work. You need to be able to do shooting in and around vehicles. You need to understand that with all this bulky clothing, my transition drills and stuff are going to be slower. Yes, they are, guys. They are going to be slower, but they're really going to be slow if you don't practice using your gear when it's in inclement weather, if you don't practice using your gear in that clothing that you're going to actually be wearing, if you don't practice with that gear as you actually EDC, or how you actually work in that tactical environment. So get out there and practice in the snow. No matter how bad the weather is, the way I look at it is there's nobody out here that I have to compete against. There's not. If I know I can handle this weather, no matter what anything else is thrown at me, I can do this. I can fight through, and that's the difference between winners and losers, guys. All right, so y'all get out there, train hard, and you know the deal, shoot straight. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you don't miss out on anything.